Was the American Sherman tank a hero or a death trap? Was it the machine that won the war or a rolling coffin sent to face German steel unprepared? For almost 80 years, the Sherman has lived under one of the fiercest debates in military history. Some call it the worst tank of World War II. Others insist, without Sherman, the Allies would never have reached Berlin. Tonight, we're digging into the steel, the fire, and the myth to finally decide, was the Sherman tank underrated or overhated? In 1941, when America entered the war, it was behind. Behind in readiness. Behind in tank development. Behind in experience. Germany rolled across Europe with Panzer III, Panzer IV, and soon, the terrifying Tiger. Britain struggled. The Soviets bled. The world trembled. America needed a tank fast. Not a masterpiece, not a monster, but a machine that could be built by the thousands. That machine was the M4 Sherman, designed not to dominate, but to exist everywhere at once. On the sands of North Africa, in the hedgerows of France, through Italian mountains and Pacific jungles. A tank built like America itself. Practical, industrial, unstoppable. 1942, North Africa. The Sherman's first battlefield. And here's the shock. It performed well. Against early German armor, the Sherman was solid. Fast, reliable, easy to repair. Equipped with a 75mm gun, capable of knocking out Panzer WW2 crews had good visibility. A luxury many tanks lacked. Sherman wasn't perfect, but in Africa it was competitive. The American war machine was waking up, but Europe would change everything. When Sherman reached Normandy in 1944, soldiers discovered the nightmare. Sherman could burn. And when it burned fast. The crew called it Tommy Cooker. Ronson, lights every time. The reason? Sherman stored ammunition in the hull, low, unprotected, and surrounded by fuel. A hit often turned the tank into an inferno. Here is where the myth took root. One burning Sherman became a symbol. Images stick deeper than statistics. But let's stay fair. Reality is more complicated. The German Tiger is the heavyweight icon of World War II. Thick armor, 88mm cannon, deadly at long range. But here's the truth. Sherman was never meant to fight Tigers head-on. Where Germany built beasts, America built herds. For each Tiger, the Allies often fielded 5, 10, even more Shermans. Not because life was cheap, but because strategy was math. Tanks don't win wars one-on-one. Wars are won by logistics, replacements, fuel, spare parts. By momentum. Sherman represented momentum. It rarely broke down. Tigers sometimes failed before reaching battle. It was repairable in the field. Crews fixed it in hours, not days. It could be shipped anywhere, like across oceans, railroads, bridges. It could be produced in gigantic numbers, and over 49,000 built. Sherman wasn't a duelist. It was an army. And when paired with infantry, artillery, and overwhelming air power, it was a steamroller. War isn't a boxing match. It's a factory race. Now let's confront the darkest chapter, the Sherman versus German armor in 1944. In the bocage of Normandy, Sherman crews often faced Panthers and Tigers head-on. Their 75mm guns struggled to penetrate. Enemy shells sliced through their armor like paper. Casualties rose, tanks burned. Families read letters that should never have been sent. This is where Sherman earned hatred, understandable hatred. But by late 1944, the Americans adapted. The 76mm gun appeared fire-resistant ammo storage reduced explosions by up to 75%. New tactics avoided frontal duels, used speed, and flanking Sherman was evolving, and the war turned in its favor. Picture it. Normandy beaches behind, Paris ahead, thousands of Shermans rolling through France like green steel waves. When one got hit, another replaced it. When one broke, it was repaired. When fuel was needed, American industry delivered it by the ocean load. Sherman wasn't the strongest tank, but it was the tank that kept moving. And wars are won by those who keep moving. Not alone, but without Sherman, there is no overlord, No breakout at St. Lo, no race to the Rhine. Sherman was the chassis of Allied victory. It carried soldiers. It smashed defenses. It crossed continents. It was criticized, cursed, sometimes feared by its own crews, but never replaced. Sherman was enough. And sometimes enough wins wars better than perfect. The truth isn't cinematic. Sherman was neither a miracle nor a disaster. It was a tool. Good at its job, bad when misused. Weak armor, yes. Terrifying fires, yes. Mass-produced, reliable war-winning engine of victory? Absolutely. So, was the Sherman tank underrated or overhated? Sherman wasn't the best tank of World War II, but it was the tank that won it.